Hello and welcome back to J.O.K.E. Today we'll be going over a bit more of hindsight testing with a bit, more commentary than usual. I will continue to start implementing these videos within my YouTube channel content, hopefully for y'all to gain a bit of more of an understanding of where I'm coming from when I, obviously come up with these rules. Hopefully we can knock out a bit of the confusion. It's not necessarily confusing. Of course, anything and everything takes time to absorb, of course, the knowledge, as well as the process in becoming said profitable. No, you're not going to retain this information in 5 minutes. It's not even going to take a week, maybe not even a year. It may take a couple of years, but when you do have this knowledge down and packed, you have a stream of income. You have an investing tool. You have an edge on many traders that obviously don't know what they're doing. Otherwise, they would be profitable, correct? I'm at a point, honestly, where, I'm kind of just over this industry. A lot of people are, it's just weird, People want information. You give them the information and then they question it. As soon as you put a price tag on something, it's a problem or there's an issue or it's all these excuses, which is fine. But do you really think that these profitable traders that y'all look up to, that y'all idolize on these Instagram, Twitter, social medias, any kind of really weak platform, because again, that's all it is, do you think they had these excuses when they were brought up to an opportunity of a lifetime to work with an authentic professional Forex trader? Do you really think, no, they understood what they prematurely knew? They understood the rarity of their situation and they took action. I'm not here to convince you to learn how to trade. You became a trader solely because you convinced yourself that this is the right industry for you. Whether you are right or wrong, that's what you did. That's what happened, yes or no. So when God answers your prayers, do not complain. Do not create excuses and come up with all sorts of illusions in your head as to why something may not be or may be too good to be true. Because what you got to understand is there's magic in this world. You just have to be able to or be willing to believe in it. And if you don't, well, that's fine. However, what I want you to understand is God gave you an imagination. God gave you the ability to see the unseen or the unknown, or maybe peek into the future, even if it's prematurely. You know prematurely where you're going to go and how you're going to go about your day, even if it's not the most accurate. You have at least a decent idea. The same with trading. And your parameters or guidelines will obviously be your rules. They will guide you. They will help you avoid silly or honestly petty mistakes that lead to an overall, obviously, blown account. I'm not asking you to take a chance on me. I'm asking you to wake up and understand the industry that you are participating in. This industry will take your money as soon as you make a deposit. If you deposit $100 into a trading account, you are not depositing $100. You are at most depositing $97. You've already took a deduction. You're already in a loss. You're already in drawdown, is what I'm saying. The money you spend on prop firms, the $300 to $400 for your little or big $50,000 account or so, it's not guaranteed. You only have 5% of that capital available to you. Understand how much the odds are already stacked against you, and you want to continue to go about this with little to no information. Yes, there's Wyckoff. Yes, there's supply and demand. Yes, there's this, that, and the third. However, how is that actually working out for you in your trading process? Exactly. Without further ado, I'm going to just go ahead and get started. We're going to go over a few setups. Not these in particular. These are actually taken live. I have them on my Roguefx Trading journal. It's going to be linked in the bio. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel because we are going to definitely be posting consistently. Be sure to ring that post notification bell, stay updated on all our videos. One thing before I do get started, understand that I'm going to be 100% authentic. I'm at a point where I really just don't care. People who want to learn how to trade Forex and take this industry serious will learn how to trade Forex and take this industry serious. They will go through the, obviously, the adversities that are awaiting them upon their journeys. They will not complain. They will not moan. They will not, even if they do, they will bounce back and go that much harder. Because in the end, despair, grief, They're all different forms of healing. So at a certain extent, you have no choice but to come back better. And if you are going to come back, you better come back better, or you're going to be beat every time. I do appreciate everyone for taking the time to view my videos and, you know, learn Forex with me, alongside me. I do this. I don't care if you agree with the fact that I do this or not. It's evidence. I don't need credentials. At a point, I don't even need profits, honestly. The knowledge is here. The knowledge is there. You're not looking for money in this industry. And if you are definitely broke. You are looking for knowledge. You are out for knowledge. This is top tier information if you choose to take it serious, if you choose to pay attention to it, if you choose to study it on the daily, make it a habit to implement these concepts within your trading plan. It doesn't matter how long or even when, slowly you will surely begin to see results as far as, you know, profitable trading. Without further ado, I'm actually going to start right here, only because I just don't see a reason why, and I haven't been over this data, so I mean, if anything, it's just good, you know, practice material. We're going to zoom in on the first range. I'm not going to go over too much about the rules. I'm just going to, you know, do whatever I see, because I mean, again, the rules are on the channel. I have a whole course out. If you do not take the time to learn, or that's just strictly on you, and that's your part, and that's how much you are dedicated to your Forex journey. I'm gonna go ahead and move this over so I do have my trading window. I'm not confused, but just, I want to say disorganized. I do take pride in how I keep my charts at least as clean as possible. It just helps. It really does. It gets rid of all the clutter, all the fogginess, and you can really just understand what you're seeing that much clearer. So as you can see, we have a trading range from, let me see. So we have a strong low, strong low, strong low. And then we have a continuation. Price did not come back. Price actually broke a structural high, which seems to be a choke. And then, you know, obviously price prints a few, I mean, it really just looks like block, block, indecisive, block, block. But if you take a step back and understanding what the price or structure is overall telling you, we have a rejection block. This is pretty much where it started, right? Because we had a liquidity grab, break of structure, not necessarily a retest. However, we did, you know, price did provide a wick, right? So, you know, a wick as small as a rejection block wick is definitely price movement, and it counts as a retest. And then price continues up and, you know, continues into a consolidation of some sort, which just isn't honestly relevant at this point, right? So what I want to pretty much kind of get you to, or you guys to understand, is the whole range concept, right? So we have a strong low, strong low, strong low. How do we know these lows are going to be strong? Well, they're taking out liquidity, breaking structure, taking out liquidity, breaking structure, taking out liquidity, breaking structure. As you can see, price provides our choke, retest, continues. At that point, I mean, maybe to the left, we are obviously breaking, you know, two pretty significant highs. So we're going to count that as a break of structure. Cool. We have our choke as well as a break of structure. Price has shown its overall hand. What's next? What is all there left to do? Well, what does price show us as far as obviously internal range liquidity? We have a rejection block. Also, you know, with the wick, we take that wick and stretch it. We see a trend line. As we straighten this line out to a certain extent, right? As you can see, price came back and took out internal range liquidity. What happens to be this internal range liquidity? If you want to just give me a second. As you can see, price provided us with this wick, and it's very much unmitigated. Has it been mitigated in any way, obviously, before this overall raid? No. Also, if we look above that, we have another type of liquidity, 3 candle formation, right? 1, 2, 3. If you look below that, we have what? It's just a bit of an imbalance, honestly. Price inefficiency. What does price do? It definitely retests. If anything, it provides you could say a footnote, and then took out that liquidity or that inducement and then continued higher. However, if you really going to get very, very precise, you can use your imagination, right? We obviously have think of this as if it were I don't know, maybe a structural high, but it's to an extent to where price obviously took out these lows, but it continued higher, created a price inefficiency or however you want to call it, and then obviously within time came back and retested. But what did it leave? It left a, you can say, breaker, especially when you're here. Look, so imagine we have a structural high, and that structural high gets broken and retested, and obviously fills in any kind of POI to the left and continues higher. What really happened was price had established an order block. Price rated that order block, created a structural high, retested for internal range liquidity to the left, and took out, well, obviously, internal range liquidity, retested a POI, mitigated, however you want to call it. However, we could obviously identify this as an order block, or we can identify this as a breaker, right? And yes, it's a breaker, but we could also say, okay, maybe this breaker was the actual POI of significance, or had the most volume, instead of just, not necessarily paying attention to the refinement of an order block, right? Because what is an order block but a significant candle of I guess a sort. However, the refinement of an actual order block is what? A breaker. So if you're asking me what's the difference between a breaker and an order block, the order block is just the point to where price actually breaks. Oh, that doesn't look good. Hold on, give me a second. I'm going to show this eventually on the chart, but like I say, this is pretty much what price is doing. This is coming down from, like, obviously up here. And instead of using, keep in mind and stay with me, instead of using this structural high as maybe we can say a block, we can refine it down to a breaker. I hope you get it. I hope you can understand. It's literally this. It's literally like this, guys. Price performed or established a strong high. And then what happened after that? We performed a rejection block, right? So at a certain extent, it really just retested this unmitigated wick and continued lower. So at this point, price has, obviously breaking structure, and this would be pretty much your breaker, right? So as you can see, what does price do after that? We establish a low, a high, low, strong high, weak low, retest, take out internal range liquidity to the left, right? And what do? We retest what I don't even want to say retest. All you can definitely say is it took out internal range liquidity, or fulfilled a breaker block, obviously, to the left, right? Because if it didn't come back up and it continued down, it'd be an imbalance play, right? But it had to come back and fill that breaker to a certain extent. That's, it's kind of invisible right here, but you got to understand it's there. It's like saying, right? We have a liquidity grab breaker structure, right? This would be your breaker. And then what did price do? Come back, take out price inefficiency. Even if it extended a bit higher, it took out price inefficiency, which would be in place of the breaker if it just had continued, and retested, took out internal range liquidity, and continued higher. Where? External range liquidity. That's a bit of a crude example, I understand, but you got to understand that, these are obviously basic terms, and they will be repeated. So if you would just be patient and understand that it's going to come back around if you don't understand it now, and hopefully you will have a more of a clearer or understanding to a higher degree that time around. But I promise you, it's not hard. It's literally just block, breaker. What makes this a block? Did it take out liquidity to the left? Okay, it's a block. It's a strong high. So what's next? Continuation lower. Where's your breaker? Right here. What does price do whenever, obviously, you have your liquidity void, price inefficiency, whatever? Retest, fill in the gap, continue lower. It's the same thing. Let me see if I can find it. So we have a strong high, break, retest, fill in the gap, continue lower. It's the same thing, guys. Like I said, this is top tier information. I don't care that I'm giving it out for free. I don't care. I don't care. I'm tired of this industry playing like they're just playing with each other. It's weird. I'm not gonna call out any names, but it's just weird. It's like you're playing with people's time, energy, and effort and people are only trying to live. This is a skill set, not a what is it? Y'all have seen the maze runner, right? It's not a maze, which it is, but people make it a maze because honestly, it's just inconsideration, man. It's taking advantage of different like people and their lack of knowledge, and I think it's funny because I I don't even I just think it's hilarious because it's man, it's a lot of ego in this industry, and it's funny because not a lot of people are making money at all, and it's like, bro, but what's the point? But I mean, I understand that this is what this life kind of consists of, so I'm actually just kind of here to correct the flawed behavior this industry kind of promotes, right? So I'm actually gonna draw a fib just so I can get a clear indication of what's happening, right? So we obviously attacked external range liquidity. We continued our range. Um, Whether you stopped or take profit or partials right here and continued higher, and then just decided after this break of this trend line that obviously it wasn't for you anymore, so you got out. However, it is 8%. It's very much valid. It's very much a thing, whether you choose to recognize it or not. This is how you trade. If you don't choose to recognize it, bro, I don't care. This is how you trade. Like, you can either take these rules, apply them, see what happens, see what works. Maybe on a demo, maybe I wouldn't say a demo. I'd say hindsight, back test, see what you can do. But I mean, don't knock it, and if you don't understand it, it just doesn't make any sense. How are you knocking something you don't understand? I feel like that's the root of all ignorance. But anyway, as you can see, price has obviously printed a bullish pin bar as well as reject, 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 which makes me believe that price is definitely up to something around this area. As you can see, price performs what seems to be a choke as well as an official break of structure. What does price do after that? What does it need to do, right? So price performed a liquidity grab, break of structure, whether that be a choke or a break of structure or one of the other. Um, Price retest takes out internal range liquidity. Where's internal range liquidity? As you can see, we have equal highs. You feel me? So maybe I don't know. Zoom in, be more attentive to what you say that you care about and you believe in and that you have so much passion about, right? And as you can see, this is a precise entry for a retest entry, right? Or to a certain extent, confirmation entry. What makes it a confirmation entry? What's to the left? Equal highs. Take the trade, even if it's not all the way up here. Take the trade from right here. Here, look, take it from right here. Stop loss above your rejection block. It's a type of resistance. Where do we targets? Okay, so where's the liquidity? Simple. Okay, so a type of liquidity I just know off the top of my head is what? Slanted lows. What else? What's more relevant here for liquidity than slanted lows? Well, we do have a rejection block. But we know that. We already know that there's going to be a rejection block. Why? Because that's the whole reason this range continued higher. The down move for the up move. It's too obvious. It's too broad. It's like what if we target these lows and get missed and then we're out of the market, right? So to a certain extent, what's right here? 3 candle formation. Was that not in the course? Was that not a type of liquidity? Cool, we target that liquidity. However, you got to understand that what price is doing is taking out a liquidity grab or performing a liquidity grab. What price did right here was perform a liquidity grab. What did that mean? This low is strong. What does this mean? This low is strong. So what can this low possibly be? Internal range liquidity. Look how precise that entry is. Stop fooling yourself, telling yourself that you can't do this because you know you can do this. You're just being led off. I want to say led astray to a certain extent, but even at that, I can't necessarily help too much of it because a lot of people have their egos to where they feel like they know. And bro, I promise you, the more you know in this industry, the more you understand you don't actually know in this industry. We target the highs. Take profit hit. Like I've yet to see this. How do I say this? I've yet to see these charts. I literally traded Thursday, caught a 250 pip move, and called it a week. Why? Because God is good. I'm grateful. Like, I can't express this enough. That's why I share this with such humility, love, passion, because I understand what it takes. A lot of people don't. That's why they keep jumping from strategy to strategy, trying to figure out what is already on. It's literally on YouTube at this point. This is the most simplistic strategy you can carry. I promise. But you can cap on yourself if you want. We're still going to be getting profits. We're still going to be understanding and learning at a higher degree. We're going to come to an understanding at such a high frequency that there's nothing that we will be surprised by in the markets anymore. Why? Because we've been through it. Because we put ourselves through we could say we paid our dues to a certain extent. Moving on. Again, I can definitely go ahead and just use my fib. However, again, that just takes practice. So I'm definitely going to, actually, I'm sorry, I didn't even mark the range. So this range would be strong high, weak low, internal range liquidity, external range liquidity. This range would be, right, what did price do right here? Took out a liquidity, just pretty much performed a liquidity grab to the left, which was what? This pin bar, this bullish pin bar. So what's going to be our range? Our range is really from this low to this high. However, if you really want to catch this one as well, it's literally liquidity grab, strong low, break of structure, choke, weak high, internal range liquidity, which happens to be what? Unmitigated wick. Better yet, bro, look left. What does that remind you of? Tell me you've not seen a head and shoulders or inverse head and shoulders pattern in your whole entire trading career. You're making this as, or I could say you're making this more complicated than it really is. And you know why? It's because you're invested in a lot of knowledge that is distorting your actual reality, which is fine. It won't get you anywhere, but it's fine. Again, I'm making this video so y'all can understand how serious, how dead serious I am. I'm almost not even considering going forward with my membership, subscription-based membership, where I teach people how to trade, while I help people understand, or where I help people understand where they're coming from as far as, you know, their flaws, their mistakes, and their shortcomings. However, like, it's at a point to where this industry is just, it's a joke, honestly. It's a joke to be a Forex trader because there's so many people doing it the wrong way because they're brainwashed. They're indoctrinated to be a consumer instead of taking their actual livelihood within their hands and being in control of their actual lives. Why? Because people are high-key afraid to do that. They've never been bred to do. Imagine people in I don't know, I don't want to know what to call it, medieval times. They fight with swords. They don't care. They are throwing their lives on the line every day just to wake up and maybe we can go further, hunter and gatherer times. You feel me? And we're afraid to take risk. We're afraid to live a different life. We're afraid to venture out into the unknown. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. This is the reality of this industry. I'm sorry, but this is it. And I'm not sorry because I had to go through it. So yeah, continuing on, moving forward, price performs what? Liquidity grab. What does that make this? Strong low. And obviously continues higher and performs. We're going to skip this one only because it just gives consequent encouragement to continue higher. Why? Because it did this high break, maybe a high that is, just understand it didn't. It's kind of, I'm on the 15. I'm not going to see that far. However, this high becomes weak. We target it. What does that become? A weak high. So what does price do? Where's the liquidity in this area? Yes, I understand it's a corrective behavior, but there is still liquidity. 1, 2, 3, candle formation. Slanted lows. Rejection. This is a whole block. We have rebalancing, but there's so much liquidity that if I can literally pull out like 4 different tools out of my arsenal and help you understand that there's liquidity right here. But I can't help you understand that you need to develop faith in your process, in yourself. You feel me? In your life. Because I'm sorry, but you won't be able to do this without God. Why? Because in order to go or venture in places that are uncharted, you must believe in something greater than yourself to guide you through it. That is your intuition. That is your gut feeling. That is your actual brain having to reflect, break down what you've actually been through throughout your life and understand that maybe there's more. Maybe there's another way. Maybe there's a better way than a simple 9 to 5, or throwing your hours away, uh, really doing nothing, repetitive behavior like a robot. But are you a robot? Is your spirit edified while doing that? Of course not. Stop pretending. Stop pretending. Stop pretending. Stop pretending to be a trader. Stop pretending to appreciate and be a follower of all these people who are definitely leading you into a dead end. They are not your friend. These people, these gurus, I am not your friend. I'm not going to sit here and throw money at you. I'm not. I don't care. Why? Because I have a skill set that, or I'm not going to say I have a skill set, but I've learned a skill set that could do absolute damage for my financial situation. And I'm not talking about it in a bad way. So just understand and really reflect on where you are coming from, as far as, maybe I'm not going to, put out any names, even if you're like I'm not going to put out any names. Again, I don't want no kind of heat. But at a certain extent, I'm going to say truth. And I'm tired. I'm tired of people trying to feel like they're this, that, and the third. Like, bro, can I help you understand? 1, 2, 3. One, bro, I'm gonna label it. 1, 2, 3. What is this? What does this signify? 3 candle formation. It's just that simple. Yet I'm confused on why there's no or rarely any consistent traders. I'm just confused. I'm tired of people telling me I don't know how to trade, and it's clear as day that it's the other way around. Yes, I hindsight test. That's how you practice your rules. How do you understand your rules that you haven't practiced, or you haven't even, taken the time to even consider? It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not here to be your friend. I want to instruct. I want to help this industry. It's not dead. It's not dying. There's just a lot of sheep, a lot of people who cannot think for themselves, a lot of people who can't think critically, question the things that are arriving within their lives. It's annoying to me. However, it's all love. It's all light. And I'm only, I'm not upset, of course, but I'm only kind of just in a way tweaking, because it's like I'm talking to brick walls. It's like I'm talking to, man, look, imagine you being Buddha or Jesus from Passion of the Christ, any kind of prophet to a certain extent, trying to wake people up, shake people out of their ignorance, shake people out of their negativity, out of their consumerism, take control. And all they can tell you is negative, harsh, weak opinions that honestly don't have any kind of leg to stand on. Because again, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It's just frustrating to see how toxic, or I'm not even gonna say frustrating, it's infuriating to see how lost this industry is. Bro, Forex is as simple as this: strong, low, weak, high, internal range liquidity, internal range liquidity, internal range liquidity, 3, 4 different entries continue higher. This range came from this range. Where's the confusion? Where is the confusion? Right? What did price do from there? Took out internal range liquidity. 1, 2, 3, strong low, candle formation, took out liquidity, weak high. We have a choke as well as a break, confirmation, retest. Who cares about the counter trend? You don't need to catch that if you're catching the pro. Took out internal range liquidity, whether that be trend line, whether that be reject, whether that be simply an imbalance, whether that be an unmitigated wick. It is relevant. Why? Because logically it makes sense. Stop pretending, guys. Like, take me serious. And if you don't, unsubscribe, because I'm honestly, I don't care anymore. I don't need this. I don't. But I do give a fuck. I mean, look, I'm not going to cuss. However, I do care. That's why I'm putting myself out here. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, because we do aim to post consistently. Ring that post notification bell. Stay updated on all our videos. This is J.O.K.E. Until next time, y'all have a good night.